Jake Turner had been a mechanic for almost 12 years, tucked away in a sleepy corner of Ashford, a town where most people still knew their neighbors' names. His garage was small, no neon signs or polished counters, just a wide open bay, with worn tools hanging on pegboards and the smell of oil and rubber thick in the air. Asterisk, it was a Tuesday morning, the kind where fog sat low and slow over the cracked roads. Jake had just opened up the shop. The kettle was whistling in the back, and he was nursing a sore wrist from wrestling with a stubborn transmission the day before. He liked mornings like these, quiet, predictable. Asterisk, he'd just settled onto his stool when he heard it. A metallic, scraping sound, the unmistakable clink of a bike chain dragging across the pavement. He stood up and peered through the wide garage doors. There, struggling up the slight incline of Maple Street, was a young girl pushing a pink bicycle. The back wheel was crooked, the chain flopping uselessly. Her backpack bounced with every awkward step, and her face was twisted in frustration. Asterisk, Jake wiped his hands on a rag and walked out. "Hey there," he called gently. "Looks like that bike's had a rough morning." Asterisk, the girl looked up, startled. She was maybe 12, with dark braids, a blue windbreaker, and scraped-up sneakers. "Yeah, I was riding to school, and it just, like stopped working," she said, breathless. "My mom's gonna be late for work if she turns back. I told her I'd walk it. It's okay." Asterisk, Jake smiled. "How far is your school?" Asterisk, like 15 minutes away. "But I'm already late." Asterisk, tell you what, Jake said, nodding toward the garage. "Push it in here." "I'll take a look real quick." Asterisk, her eyes widened. "Do you sure?" Asterisk, "Absolutely. I've fixed worse before breakfast." Asterisk, she grinned and wheeled it inside. As Jake crouched beside the bike, he could see the chain had slipped off and snagged between the gear and the frame. The rear tire was bent slightly, probably from a pothole or a curb jump gone wrong. He turned the bike over and got to work. Asterisk, "What's your name?" he asked as he loosened the bolts. Asterisk, "Lena." Asterisk, "Well, Lena, this bike's got a story to tell. You jump off a ramp or something?" Asterisk, Lena giggled. "No, well, okay, I might have tried going down the stairs at the park." Asterisk, Jake chuckled. "Yeah, that'll do it." Asterisk, he worked quickly. His fingers moved with practiced ease, popping the chain back in place, truing the rim as best he could without special equipment, and giving the tires a quick refill from the air compressor. He even oiled the chain lightly so it wouldn't squeak. 10 minutes later, he spun the pedals and gave it a satisfied nod. Asterisk, "Try it out," he said, setting the bike upright. Asterisk, Lena hopped on and took a short loop around the lot. The gears clicked cleanly, the wheels spun straight, and the brakes squealed a bit, but held strong. She came to a stop in front of him, beaming. Asterisk, "It's like new." Asterisk, Jake held up a finger. "Almost. Don't try any staircases for a while." Asterisk, she laughed, "Promise." Asterisk, he stepped back. "All right, off you go. You've got a bell on that thing, right? Use it near the crosswalks." Asterisk, Lena hesitated. "How much do I owe you?" Asterisk, Jake waved her off. "Nothing. It's on the house." Asterisk, "Really?" Asterisk, "Yeah. Just pay it forward someday." Asterisk, she looked at him like he'd just handed her a golden ticket. "Thank you. You're the nicest person ever." Asterisk, with that, she kicked off and pedaled out of the lot, the morning sun finally starting to burn through the fog as she disappeared down the street, waving over her shoulder. Asterisk, Jake turned back into the garage and went to pour himself that long-awaited cup of tea. As he leaned on the workbench, sipping from his chipped mug, he smiled to himself. Helping people like that, without invoices, without bureaucracy, that's what made the job worthwhile. Asterisk, what Jake didn't know, and what would stay unknown to him for the next 48 hours, was that someone had been watching from just down the street. Asterisk, Dana Clark had just pulled over in her black SUV when Lena's bike broke down. She'd been following behind her daughter, just far enough back to avoid hovering, but close enough to make sure she reached school safely. When she saw Lena stop and struggle with the bike, she was about to get out and help. But then she saw Jake walk over, calm and casual, like he had all the time in the world. Asterisk, something told Dana to wait. She watched from behind her tinted windows. As the stranger knelt beside Lena's bike, There was no rush, no grumbling, no eye roll at being interrupted. He simply helped. He made her daughter laugh. He fixed her ride like it was the most important job in the world. And then he sent her on her way, no charge. No business card, not even his name. That moment stuck with Dana like a stone in her shoe. She wasn't just Lena's mother, she was the CEO of Clark Tech, one of the most rapidly rising companies. In sustainable electronics, she dealt with executives, investors, analysts, all people who talked fast, made deals faster, and rarely did anything without seeing a benefit first. But this mechanic, he gave his time for free. He made her daughter feel seen, safe, and important. That mattered more than numbers ever could. Asterisk, she looked at the sign above the garage. Jake's Auto and Repair. Simple. Honest. Asterisk, she didn't get out of the car that day. She waited until Lena was well on her way, then drove off with a plan forming. Quietly in her mind, asterisk, back in the garage, Jake had moved on to his next job, a rattling old pickup in need of a new timing belt. But something about that morning stuck with him too. The girl's smile, her cheerful, "You're the nicest person ever," as she rode away. He'd heard worse praise in his life. Asterisk, he didn't know yet that this ordinary Tuesday foggy, slow, and just like any other was about to rewrite everything he thought he knew about his life. Deep in the engine of a beat-up Dodge Ram. His hands were black with grease. His shirt was stained, and classic rock buzzed faintly from a dusty radio in the corner. The day was warm, quiet just. How he liked it? Asterisk, he was tightening a bolt when the low hum of a luxury engine rolled into the lot. Not a typical customer. He looked up to see a sleek black SUV glide to a smooth stop just outside his garage. It wasn't just the vehicle light, it was how it moved. Deliberate, confident, expensive. Asterisk, Jake wiped his hands on a rag and stepped outside. The SUV door opened, and out stepped a woman in a navy blue suit. Sharp lines, confident posture, eyes that scanned the space with both curiosity and calculation. Two other assistants maybe trailed behind her. One carrying a slim tablet, the other holding a portfolio. Jake felt underdressed in his oil-stained shirt and worn jeans. "You must be Jake Turner," the woman said. Asterisk, Jake raised an eyebrow. "That depends. Who's asking?" Asterisk, she smiled faintly and stepped forward, extending a hand. "Dana Clark, CEO of Clark Tech." Asterisk, Jake hesitated, then shook her hand, still trying to make sense of it. Clark Tech was a name even he recognized, makers of eco-efficient tech. Clean, batteries, smart devices, and more. Their HQ was hours away in the city. What was she doing here? Asterisk, "I believe you helped my daughter Lena the other morning. Her bike broke down." Asterisk, Jake blinked. "Lena's your daughter?" Asterisk, Dana nodded. "I was in the car. I saw the whole thing." Asterisk, Jake looked away, sheepish. Wasn't a big deal. Just fixed a chain, bent the wheel back a bit. Glad she made it. To school, asterisk, "It was a big deal," Dana said. "You didn't just fix a bike. You gave your time. You didn't ask for anything in return. You made her feel important. That matters to me more than you probably know." Asterisk, Jake scratched his head. "Well, I just did what anyone should do." Asterisk, she studied him for a moment. Not everyone would, especially not these days. Asterisk, he looked a bit uncomfortable. "I didn't expect, ... whatever this is." Asterisk, Dana smiled, motioning toward one of her assistants. The man stepped forward and handed Jake a sleek business card, black with silver letters. On it, Jake Turner Field Operations, Clark Tech. Asterisk, Jake stared. "What is this?" Asterisk, "It's a job offer," she said plainly. "Well, an invitation. Really, I want you to come to our headquarters. Talk to some of my team. I think there's a place for you with us." Asterisk, Jake blinked, stunned. "You want me to work for Clark Tech?" Asterisk, "I do. We're building a new division focused on community tech support, bringing help to places that big companies usually ignore. We need people who can fix things, sure. But more than that, we need people who care. People like you." Asterisk. Jake looked down at the card again, unsure. "I'm just a small-town mechanic, ma'am. I don't know the first thing about tech startups or corporate anything." Asterisk, Dana shrugged. "That's exactly why I want you. You understand people. You fix what's broken, not just machines, but trust. That's rare." It wasn't much, but it was his. He'd built a life here modest, steady, familiar. This place held memories, tools passed down from his father, the scar on the floor from when he dropped an engine block, the old radio that hadn't worked on AM since 2009. Asterisk, why me? He asked softly. Asterisk, Dana answered without hesitation. Because you did the right thing when no one was watching. That's the kind of integrity I want, shaping our future. Asterisk, Jake was quiet for a long time. Then he looked up and said, I'll come, I'll hear you out. A week later, Jake stood in a glass-paneled office, 30 stories above the city. The skyline stretched out behind him like a painting. The Clarktech headquarters was sleek, buzzing with energy and ideas. Everyone walked fast, talked faster, and carried some kind of device Jake didn't recognize. Asterisk, he felt like a fish out of water. But strangely, not uncomfortable, not unwelcome. Asterisk, Dana met him in the lobby and walked him through their innovation. Labs, community engagement programs, and prototype centers. She introduced him to engineers, designers, and community leads. Everyone smiled, curious about the mechanic from Ashford. Asterisk, in a private conference room, she laid out the full offer. Relocation assistance if you wanted to move, flexible hours, full training on their tech. But more importantly, freedom. She wanted him to lead a new mobile outreach unit. Vans equipped with tools and tech, visiting underserved communities, offering repairs, education, even apprenticeships. He'd be the face of it. Jake was speechless. You'd be building more than machines, Dana said. You'd be building trust. 3 months later, Jake was standing beside a Clarktech van with the words Repair Program emblazoned on the side. He wore a fresh uniform, still casual. Still Jake, but now with a badge clipped to his shirt that read, Lead Technician Mobile Operations. Asterisk, they were parked in a neighborhood that hadn't seen much investment in decades. Kids gathered around. As he showed them how to replace a bike chain, a grandmother brought her broken electric kettle. A teenager asked if he could help fix her cracked tablet screen. Asterisk, Jake didn't just fix things, he listened. He taught, he smiled. Asterisk, and everywhere he went, he heard echoes of Lena's voice. You're the nicest person ever. Asterisk, what he hadn't expected. What moved him most was the way people responded to simple kindness. A man thanked him with tears in his eyes for fixing his mobility scooter. A mother brought homemade cookies. An old man offered him his father's wrench as a gift. Asterisk, Jake kept that wrench in his bag everywhere he went. Asterisk, back at Clarktech HQ, Dana kept her promise. She didn't try to change him. She let him lead with his heart, his hands, and his honest ways. He became more than just a field coordinator. He became the face of a movement inside the company. Asterisk, and every once in a while, he'd get a postcard from Linehan written in colorful ink with little drawings in the margins. Asterisk, my bike still works great. Thanks again, Mr. Jake. Asterisk, those postcards sat in a small wooden frame on his office shelf. Right next to the photo of the day Dana visited his garage. Asterisk, Jake never imagined his life would change from fixing a single bike. He never chased money, or status, or corporate titles, but his heart had been in the right place. And sometimes, that's all the world needs to give you everything.